I'm gonna try to do a week without screens. We're going to the crematorium together. He can be in my urn. It was expensive. It was over $3,000. It was. I wanted to talk about recent self-care and wellness routines, the great lock-in prep, something new on the channel. LCSW, huge accomplishment. The raise that came with it. Part monthly reset, part staff meeting. I am in desperate need of getting my life together, and I'm excited to do that with you. Today's little drink is brought to you by my ghost mug and the afternoon cup of coffee that's gonna keep me going. This video will be entirely chaptered out, so if there's anything you're more interested in or any less interested in, you can toggle on through, find what's best for you. But overall, as you know, we've had a crazy past couple of months. I feel like I always say that. This time it's especially true. Crazy past couple of months. We are currently right here on today, October 25th, and I'm planning on not having as crazy of an upcoming couple months, but still making them just ones that I love. That being said, this video is not entirely goals focused. We will talk about goals. It's not entirely goals focused. There are also quite a few channel updates and channel discussions just as we head into the end of the year that I would love for you to be a part of. So if nothing else, please go to those parts of the videos just so you can hear what my thoughts are and then hear what the plans are and help me find out what I can do for you in the upcoming months until the end of the year and into 2026 as well. So as you know, I got my LCSW in September. At the end of September, I tested within 48 hours of getting the approval to test. So that was an absolute whirlwind week, but a huge accomplishment that I'm so proud of. And then right after that, we moved into this new apartment, which was so lovely. And since then, we've been working to unpack and settle in. We went out of town for 4 days. You don't know about like all this craziness because it wasn't like during vlogs, but we were gonna go out of town the next weekend after Jekyll Island as well for my nephew's first birthday party. But then there was a little hand, foot, mouth outbreak that we weren't gonna be a part of. So now we're going next weekend. I think when you're watching this, we'll be there to him. So upcoming trip. But after that, we're pretty much sitting down for a while, which I'm excited for. A couple little housekeeping things as we're heading into November and December, just ending out 2025, which I've said this almost every year of my life, but 2025 has been the biggest year of my life. I am very happy to say that I have met a lot of the goals that I had hoped for at the beginning of the year, which is just such a good feeling. The outstanding goals that I still have, let me reference my agenda over here. Outstanding goals that I still have are to change my last name, which I do have in progress. I have an appointment with the Social Security Administration in early November to like bring in my documents and get that changed. And after I bring my documents into them, I'm able to mail my stuff in for my passport, which takes some time, but like I'll be able to get that in the mail. And then driver's license will happen after I either get my Social Security card or my passport back. I'm like not in a huge rush. I don't think I'm gonna have all of those documents in my new last name by the end of the year, but I'm doing my due diligence. I'm doing my best. Probably by my first anniversary, my name will be entirely changed, but it is an insane process. I had set myself the 2025 goal to journal, and I have not done that once this year. I had kind of forgotten about it for the first 6 months of the year, and then it just hasn't felt as aligned with like what I'm needing right now, so I'm not really prioritizing journaling unless I just get the urge one day and feel like journaling will be really beneficial to me, then I will, but that one is still outstanding as a goal. And then lastly, the 20,000 subscriber goal is obviously still outstanding. Right now we're in 14,000, which is so amazing, and I feel so lucky to have 14,000 of you. Just like any other YouTuber though, my goal always is to just find more people, interact with more people, help make my videos feel even more worthwhile, all of the hours that I pour into them just by them reaching the hearts and minds of other people. So growth is always a goal, but I also feel just so grateful at where we're at right now too. That being said, we do need to check up on the goal bingo for this year because it has been, I think the beginning of August was the last time we checked up on the goal bingo. And if you're not familiar with my bingo, it was in July. I've done it for whole years before. This time it was just the last 6 months. I put just like the action steps that I wanted to be taking at the last half of the year on a bingo board in a random placement and kind of came up with like 2 rewards that I would get if I made bingos by achieving my goals. The first reward was to do a puzzle and the second reward was to get a pedicure. I forget if they were in that order. They were in some order. And I kind of came up with those rewards afterwards because I wanted them to feel like actual things that would like feel rewarding to me, and I didn't want it just to be like go buy something, go treat yourself. Like I wanted it to be a little more meaningful than that. And with puzzles, I always love doing a puzzle, but I don't always like force myself to take the time to do a puzzle. So I felt like that was kind of a cute one. And then like kind of same with pedicure. I feel like benefit from one, like that could be fun. I haven't gotten one in forever, but I wouldn't like take the time to schedule myself and go for one unless I'm making myself. And so I'm excited to see what our progress is. Let me scoot scoot over and I'll put our current bingo board right now. The purple are ones that we have made. So as a review, what we've done so far in 2025 has been get married, increase retirement contribution to 7%. That's currently at 10%. Post 2 reading videos I've done. Living plan after October. We've obviously figured that out. Max out my Roth IRA contribution, free space, buy new pillows, put 10K in an emergency fund, and read 75 books. Those are ones we've already had marked out. Now going through some new ones. 20,000 subscribers, we're not at quite yet. Change my driver's license name, can't do it quite yet. Will when I can. Have a screen-free weekend. I've had a social media free weekend and not yet a screen-free weekend, but I am planning on doing that between now and the end of the year, trying to like super challenge myself in that way, so we'll hold off on that one. Read 100 books. I genuinely thought about putting off filming this video because I am 30 pages away from being done with my 100th book of the year, which is so exciting. I've really been loving reading again this year, and the book that I'm reading right now is called Too Scared to Sleep. It's just like a little juvenile anthology of like spooky stories. So I honestly probably could have finished it pretty quick, but I was like, no, let me go film my video, even though I knew this moment would happen where I know I am that close to finishing my 100th book, but we have not quite yet, so I will leave it not colored in. Go to Teddy's first birthday party. Would have happened, has been delayed, will happen next week. Get approved to test for the LCSW. Has happened, and that was such a good feeling when it did as well. Such a good feeling. You can go watch those videos if you'd like to feel it with me, but I am so thrilled to have that done. 17.5 thousand subscribers. We're not there yet. That's okay. And now this is a big one right here. Test for LCSW. I have done that, which does in fact put us at a bingo. So I'm gonna have my first reward be the puzzle one. That's the one that I would like the most. I know it's probably not good to like put other tasks in front of my reward, but I would like to do my puzzle in our little desk area that we have over here in our spare room. However, it is still full of things. It hasn't been fully unpacked. It's kind of been catching things that need to find homes. So I do fear that I am either gonna have to like put stuff elsewhere in this room. Like I could just move stuff into like a corner and kind of make a pile corner, or I could be good and find that stuff home so that I have a desk so that I can do the puzzle at the desk. But either which way, however it ends up, I'll be doing a puzzle. Change my passport name. I have to wait until after my social security appointment to do that. And my social security appointment, I booked the next available appointment whenever I was calling, and it was 43 days after I booked. That was their closest one. So waiting on that. 15,000 subscribers, not yet. Get LCSW raise. I have done. I have officially gotten the raise that comes with being an LCSW. I'm not gonna lie, I currently am super underpaid for my license. Getting an LCSW in social work is a huge deal. It means you don't have to have a supervisor to work. You can work independently. It changes the way that like people can bill you. It's like a gold standard of social work, and competing job positions that require an LCSW pay significantly higher than what I'm getting paid right now, which before I had this license, people would comment and be like surprised at my pay rate, even though like I felt okay with it, because also I was getting things like supervision and things like that that I needed for my LCSW. Now I am at the point where I'm like, wow, I am still the least paid on my team, and I am not the last one to get my LCSW. There are people without their LCSW that still get paid higher than me doing the same position, which it's like there's a lot that goes into that. Like years of experience get factored into pay rates and stuff like that. It hurts me whenever I know that like the contribution I bring to my team is not proportionally as much smaller than my teammates as my paycheck is smaller than theirs, and that hurts and is not good. And I don't know like what that means for the future, you know, but my raise was a 5% raise, which I'm not gonna like dog on. Like I like getting 5% more money. It just means that my total salary right now, which obviously salaries come with so much context too, my total salary right now, being married to a PhD student living in Atlanta, is $71,000, more than I've ever made in my life. Also not the correct jump for getting this license. Does that make sense as a thought? So, but I have gotten that raise. I'll just say we're on bingo. We're not on that discussion. 3,500 from AdSense. I have not gotten yet. Let me check where we're at. So far this year, which for context, I need to stop giving like disclaimers in context. So for context, YouTube takes at least one weekend day and probably like 3 weekday nights for me, like as far as editing, planning, filming, everything, especially doing 2 uploads a week like I've been doing lately. Context for that when we look at AdSense money. In 2025, I have gotten $2,000 $2,003.17. So I got 2 months to just about double that if I am meeting the goal that I set for myself, which is a little bit funny. 14,000 subscribers down here we have reached. As of the time I'm making this video, our little community is 14,332. Thank you. Visit a new city is a funny goal because I had different travel plans whenever I had made that as a goal, but really like my overall 2025 goals was just to travel, and we have done that a whole lot. Not all of it's been new. I do think, I was gonna say you can tell me if I'm cheating, but actually no, you can't, because unfortunately I figure I make the rules for my own goal bingo. I do think I am gonna mark this one and count our trip to Jekyll Island. I have been to Jekyll Island before, but I had been for maybe 3 hours total, and this time we spent 4 days there, so we really got to explore, do things. Like I went to stores that I've never been to before, I went to parts of the island that I've never been to before, I did activities I've never done before, so altogether as a whole, it was a whole new experience, and so I'm gonna count that as a new city because I know that like that's what my goal was like have the new experiences, see new places, do new things, and I met all of that even if I've like technically been on the island for a couple hours before. So that is counted. Get an annual physical I have done as well. September has been like my time, and then change social security card name I have an appointment for, but it is not yet done. So 1 bingo, that's big, and a lot of things in process that I think will happen and I would like to happen, and I'll keep making steps to happen. Just not done yet. Okay, next I want to show you a big update that has helped me really feel like my life is put together. It's like a little out of order because if you watched the most recent video, the de-stressing my evening routines, or what was it? De-stressing the work week, a realistic week of evening routines, something like that, whichever video that was. You'll have already seen what I'm about to show you, but I didn't vlog the whole weekend that we did this, and so I just didn't know where to put it. But since it was getting my life together and it was like a big sprint, like an 8-hour long day to get my life together, I wanted to show you the furniture shopping, vintage furniture shopping that we did in we did go to a Crate and Barrel outlet. That's not vintage. The rest of it was vintage furniture shopping in Atlanta last Saturday. That ended up very successful and has put my home together in a way that I could only dream of. I have put together such the itinerary for furniture shopping today, and I'm trying not to get too hopeful because I'm kind of nervous because I would like to get the furniture that we need, but also I would like to get things that we like and not just things that are available. But we're trying to do like secondhand, consignment, like used, antique, whatever we can find. That's good. So the areas specifically that I'm looking for things in are a dining set, dining table and chairs. Ideally, I would love for them all to just come together just for the ease of it, but this is the area that we can fill with that. And then also the TV console area. I want to revamp all of it, like all 3 things that are there, all 3 shelves. I would love to get like real wood and less Amazon wood, manufactured wood, I suppose that's called, and just kind of change up that whole thing if we can find great things. And then eventually I would like to get a new bed frame, and with that maybe like a set of nightstands. I'm really trying to come into my adult home instead of like a post-grad home. And then lastly, if there's anything like good shelves or stuff like that, then I'm open. We're starting the day at the Crate and Barrel outlet, which is from Crate and Barrel, obviously, but it's where they send things that are, what, messed up, returned, like open box.
Yeah.
I don't know. TBD. I feel like there could be some fines, or everything could be a little dirty, because that's, we'll see. The Crate and Barrel outlet is in Chamblee, Georgia, and it is this huge warehouse that they have all sorts of furniture in. I think that if you go in needing a specific something, you might not find it, but if you go in thinking like, I just need a couch, you could get really lucky and get a good couch at a good deal. The issue that comes with the outlet is that it is where things that are damaged go to or dirty, and so you do have to look and see like, are the corners fine? Are the stains able to be taken out? So some of the things are discounted like for reason that you kind of have to be aware of. This was the first cabinet we saw that Zach wanted to take note of since we were looking for that TV console. It wasn't my absolute favorite, but I was down to bookmark it. They did have several media center options and then several shelves as well that we were kind of looking at. Something that I do want to learn is when things get dropped off at the store, because if you were getting the trifecta of like a good item plus a good deal plus not super damaged, then it already was sold and was like waiting for someone to pick it up. So I am very curious when the store gets stocked back up, because I think it could be really good to go on that day. They had several dining tables, but all of them honestly were very, very big for what we were looking for. Next, we went to Simple Finds, which is also in Chamblee, Georgia, and this is 20,000 square feet of consignment and vintage and antique shopping. Ultimately, right when we went in, there was this dining set that we were bookmarking for later. It was a great deal. I forget now exactly what it was. I believe it was about $1,200, maybe $1,400 for the table and all of the chairs and the bench. But Simple Finds has so many vendor booths all around that all have furniture, antique like decor, collector's items. I want to come back and just like scour the store because truly there were so many just nooks and crannies that all were something you could buy. We left with the plan of coming back for that dark table dining set with the chairs and everything if we didn't find something better at the next stores that we were going to. Our next store was Kudzu Antiques in Decatur, Georgia. I did not know the treasures that were waiting for us inside Kudzu. It's a similar setup in that it's vendors who stage all of the furniture and decor and collectibles that they are trying to sell. There were several media consoles and dining tables that we were taking note of while we were there. Ultimately, we did find two that we liked and we purchased them and ran to get a U-Haul to bring them home. We're in a U-Haul because we found a dining table and a console table that we like.
How do I do this?
Yep, just like that.
How do I tell which?
You see the orange line under Prindle or Prindle?
Oh, yep.
So we picked up our truck, all that to say. Picked up our truck and are going to pick it up. I didn't take any video or picture, I don't think, of the actual ones we picked because we got excited and then bought them, but I'll show you as we get there. Next is our probably most highly requested segment, and that will be our financial check-in and budget. I have been avoiding a financial check-in a lot for the clips you just watched with furniture buying. Granted, you know, we live below our means and do everything we can to save money, and why we have savings is for things like that, where it's like big furniture purchases that I plan to have till the day I die. Me and that table, we're going to the grave together. I don't want to get buried. I feel like it's a waste of space. We're going to the crematorium together. He can be in my urn. But there is just a part of me that, you know, seeing big charges and seeing money leave the account, it just hurts. It really hurts. So October did have 3 paychecks, which was so helpful, or will have 3 paychecks. My third one will be coming this Friday. So helpful. The paycheck this Friday will be my first one with my raise, so that's nice. We do like that. However, there have been a lot of things that have absolutely sucked my money out of my hands lately. These things, all in September and October, include $400 that Zach had to pay in school fees for the semester, about $300 that I had to pay for the LCSW testing. I will say I have now, as of a couple days ago, gotten the test cost reimbursed. That was a perk from my workplace that I'm so thankful for. You have to pass in order to get it reimbursed, but I did. So that was $285, I believe, that came back to me. Very grateful for that. It had sucked my money out. I have gotten some of it back, and that helps alleviate things to where I can talk about it now. My retainers in my night guard that I got were $600. That felt like it sucked the money out of me. Moving was pretty expensive. I feel like cheap for having movers. Like, I see people talk about this on TikTok, and it 100% are thoughts that I have too. I feel like growing up, I thought people who got movers were the 1%. In reality, our moving, I think this time, was between $500 and $600. So like, yes, that adds up, especially when I've already been paying all of the other things I just mentioned. But for the convenience and the service of having people take everything we own and move it into a new place that we're living, I plan on doing that from here on out. out. This is my second time using movers, will not be my last time. And then the furniture itself that we got, it was expensive. It was over $3,000. It was, which is why we have savings. We've been planning on that. We wanted high quality things. I've been trying to move away from like Amazon wood and that kind of stuff that I don't like as much, doesn't last as long. I mean, I'm literally sitting, you can't see it right now. Oh, you can. This is in the camera the whole time. This shelf is like bent like a little C from Amazon, and I've kept it because I paid for it, so I've kept it, but like that's what I've been trying to move away from. And we bought it vintage, used, love it. Like I said, me and it in the urn together. It's how we wanted to spend our money. It just hurts when it comes out, you know? All the little budget sacrifices that we've made have led up to this day. So that's been kind of why I've been avoiding the financial updates though. It's just because it hurts. It's painful. I do, however, plan to do an upcoming payday routine video where I will talk more about my raise, as in like what it actually looks like for the numbers that I'll be getting paid and like how the paycheck breakdown changes and things like that. And in that video, I also plan on talking about just like some worries for the future, because like I mentioned, LCSW, huge accomplishment. The raise that came with it, and expenses in my life are about to go up by a lot. Zach and I are both 25, which means next year will be 26 in January, which means technically we could be on our parents' insurances until the end of January. However, just to save some paperwork and just to make things easier, we are just going to enroll in open enrollment for insurance, which is expensive. It is expensive, and Zach's a student, which just complicates things. It is absolutely insane that in the United States of America, your healthcare coverage is tied to employers. That is weird. The fact that things are going to cost more for us because I work and Zach's a student is weird. The fact that it is on my employer to pay so much for my healthcare is weird. The fact that you can't change jobs freely because you have to worry about having healthcare coverage and not having a gap in healthcare coverage is weird. I care about the human rights part of it all. This is not what I was meaning to talk about right now. I care about the human rights part of it all, and I just think people should have healthcare. But if you care about like the money piece of it all, it is so expensive for companies and private employers, whoever, to be paying employees healthcare instead of it just being like a centralized universal system that's not tied to a company. The fact that I'm going to have to pay more for my husband's health insurance than my own because my company is willing to pay a portion of mine but isn't willing to pay a portion of my husband's makes sense, I guess, but like why should they have to do that? Anyways, I was talking about budget, wasn't I? My 5% raise is going to be nice for the next 2 months, and then it is going to get absolutely sucked out of my paychecks by healthcare coverage, which I am grateful to have and grateful to continue having, but that is just a worry that I have coming up, is that that is expensive as heck. And yes, we live below our means, but our means are about to be going down because we're about to be paying for healthcare coverage that is very expensive, not even per month, but per pay period. I've been thinking about that a lot lately. We can talk numbers though in that video, because with that, I will have to reevaluate like retirement contribution. I would love to keep it what it's at now. We'll have to reevaluate, and we'll have to possibly budget in a way that's a bit more restrictive than what we've been doing now. Right now, our habits pretty much align with our goals, so we can just kind of track where we spent things, and that works. We'll have to see. It's possible that we'll have to actually be like keeping track as we're spending things to make sure we're doing okay. All that being said, looking into November, we are planning on having a low spend month. that will be a goal for November. I do have some, the splurge category will be fun, festive activities, a lot of which I have actually already paid for. Things like we're gonna go see Wicked when it comes out. Of course, I've already paid for those tickets, don't worry. Things like we're gonna see the Nutcracker this season. I've already paid for those tickets. So we're just like kind of riding the wave of like having already paid for tickets, because I kind of incrementally get those things throughout the months, so it doesn't feel as expensive towards the end of the year. But this is the time where I like to do fun, festive things. Other than that, low spend. Eating in, no new clothes. I don't know where else we spend money. No new retainers and night guards. No new TV consoles from the 1960s whose handles and legs were added in the 1990s and is so beautiful and I love it. No more of those. Can't afford them. All that to say as well, I am planning on doing a financial reset video at the end of the year, also requested, also I just like it, that will talk about goals that we have met in 2025, the annual goals, and then also set goals for 2026. So that was a check-in. But if we're gonna look at like the actual budget, this is the actual budget. Let me scoot over so you can see it. This is in November. I guess we can kind of peek into October. October is different because I didn't, here you can see right here, I didn't set any budget for anything, so like everything is technically over, but that's also just because October was like it's a month that we spent more than we made. Like some of it came from savings, all of that, because of the furniture, a little bit because of moving, but we can kind of look like my expected income is a lot higher because it is a 3 paycheck month. We don't need to go through the exact transactions, I don't think. We can just kind of look at this section if that feels interesting to you. Rent is not $14.65. I had cash from selling my DJI Osmo Pocket 3, and we like deposited that cash, and then from that bank account got the cashier's check to pay for our new apartment. So like I discounted it with the cash, if that makes sense. I'm not positive what our new rental price is. Like I do know what our base rent is, but I don't know exactly the dollar amount we'll be paying with like the water and trash and stuff added in. So I'll kind of just see on November 1st. It won't be a surprise in the bad way. Like I've seen the number before. I just can't remember it, and I can't find the paper that says it. Power, Wi-Fi, Spotify, Apple storage, my facials, Planet Fitness, and then one last laptop charge for Zach's laptop. And then over in the expenses category, groceries have been down because we've traveled. Dining out has been high because we traveled. Car transportation has been relatively high because we drove. Home is just so high. It's just so high. A few gifts. What else? Health and medical, I'm just paying $100 per month on a payment plan until the day I die. That's a lie. It's until February. Still from my sleep appointment that I had in December 2024. I'm just like scrolling through trying to see if there's anything else that's notable. Anna Fun is very high, but I think I put something in there that wasn't actually fun. I think my LCSW I was putting in Anna Fun just because it's my only like Anna specific category. So moving in October was $398.92. That would have been the remaining balance that we had from our movers. If we go back to September, we can see moving was $58.22. Okay, maybe it was August. When did we pay the deposit for our movers? Maybe it was July? Oh yeah, $459 there. So I mean, that's spread out, but ended up being a little something. Looking at November, I'll stop moving around all the months, sorry. Looking at November, back to a 2 paycheck month for me. I don't know yet exactly what my paychecks will be because I haven't seen them with the new raise. So I'm kind of unable to finish this right now because I don't know what I'm gonna get paid to budget off of. I could just budget off my old expected income. We'll see. And I also don't know what rent is, and that's like the biggest expense. So it's kind of hard to actually like budget those things, but all of our regulars will be pretty regular. And so if we do good about the low spend part of things, then we should be able to kind of replenish savings a little bit. This is why we have not done a financial check-in. It just feels like it's kind of a mess, and like we're fine. People are a lot worse. Things are a lot worse than our situation. And so I don't want any of this to come off as like complaining, because I am, even with my complaint, I am still grateful for where we are. I guess I should have said, I don't want this to come off as ungrateful. Even with my complaints, I'm still very grateful for where we are. It just is like adjusting to changing things and making things work, and sometimes wishing things were different, you know? Okay, next segment. We're done with finances. I don't think I'm bringing them up again. I wanted to talk about recent self-care and wellness routines and things that have been working for me, because I hope by sharing them, maybe it might give you some inspiration, or it might be something that will work for you too. I would say the biggest way lately that I have been taking care of myself really goes into the mindset I always say that self-care is not necessarily things that you do that you're adding into your life. It is creating a life that you want to live. Something that I've been doing lately to take care of myself is giving myself things to look forward to. I want to live a life that is like full of joyful moments and full of fun and love and just all of those things. And so what that's been looking like for me lately has been like coming up with fun date ideas or fun day ideas or fun activities that I want to do that really gives me something to look forward to. And on like a bigger scale, that's things like going to a corn maze tomorrow. I am very excited for. On a smaller scale, that's things like the previous evening routine video, like how I went to the Spanish class and how I gave blood. Like those were things that I looked forward to. Like being that excited to give blood is kind of funny, but like that's the life I want to live, is like being someone who gives and takes time out of their day to like do things that are good for humanity. And there are a lot of opportunities to be good for humanity and good for the people around you. And I think that creating a life that you want to live sometimes gets warped into like consumerism and buying things and creating a certain visual aesthetic. And if you think about it at all that way, I want to encourage you to like reflect on the feelings that you would like to have in your life and realize that doing things to get those feelings and like promote your core values is self-care. And so if you are someone who wants to take care of yourself or someone who tells people to take care of themselves, I want to challenge you to try to live like in alignment with who you want to be and what you want your life to look like. Because ultimately, if you are doing things that don't align with your own self, acting in ways that are like other people's expectations or come out of like fear or shame, instead of acting in ways that are true to you and true to who you want to be, be, that's not taking care of yourself, because that's not your real self that you're living for. You know what I mean? So if you are someone who like does not want to be silent when people are getting oppressed and people are getting hurt, then I encourage you to not be that person that's being silent. Or if you're someone who wants to do good in the world and do good for other people and love other people, then I encourage you to find ways to live that out, because that is self-care. That is creating a life that you want to live. And it is selfish in the sense that you are thinking about what you want to do and then doing things to live the way you would like to live it. But I think inherently at a lot of our cores, our personal desires are to love the people around us and to be part of community and to foster community and to create safe spaces and to advocate for change and to stand up for people and all of those things. And so self-care all of the time, but especially at this time, involves you doing those things and you finding ways to do those things. And I think that's really important, to give yourself things to look forward to and find ways to live the life that you really want to live. That is how I feel like my mindset about self-care and wellness have been lately. I feel like it's very hard to be well whenever people around you are unable to be well, and so aligning yourself with those people is very important, because then you're fostering humanity and connection and love and support and joy. Not sure if all that made sense, kind of just spilled out my mouth. On a less deep note, self-care and wellness routines for me lately have also looked like balancing rest and activities. I think lots of times I'm a homebody, I'm introverted, I run out of energy quick, I am particular about where my energy goes, and lots of times that can look like rotting more than not rotting. And I just have to remind myself that balancing rest versus also doing things that I would like to do, sometimes those activities make me feel more like fulfilled than if I had just rotted on the couch. For example, my Spanish class, like I didn't really want to leave home after work and go out into the world and do things, but ultimately I was glad I did it, and I felt fulfilled and I felt glad and proud of myself for like getting out of my box like that. And so self-care in this current time in my life too is reminding myself that yes, rest is good and I need to give myself rest, and I don't have to earn rest. I don't need to deserve rest. You just are able to rest when you need to. And also activities can leave me feeling more fulfilled than rest can sometimes. Physical self-care and wellness lately has been looking like lifting 4 to 5 times per week with Zach. That has just been a good routine lately and has been making my body feel good, been making me feel proud of being strong, and I'm really glad for that. Mentally, I've been taking care of myself by keeping my updated Google Calendar and video planner up to date with going back to 2 times per week uploads. It just takes a whole lot of organization and planning and preparation and setting aside time to edit and get everything ready while working a full-time job. Like, it's a lot, but to take care of myself mentally, being on top of my organization does that. Like, it just makes me feel like I can preserve the excitedness and the passion that I have instead of feeling like stressed or overwhelmed. And then I put emotionally and spiritually, like taking care of myself on here too, but it's kind of a lot of the things that I talked about earlier. That self-care lately for me, both emotionally and spiritually, have been things like keeping hope and looking for helpers around. That's a Mr. Rogers quote, and it's my Instagram bio right now too, because I feel like it's more important than ever is to look for the helpers, because no matter what is happening in this world, there are helpers that are around, and find them and then become one of them. Pushing for change is so important. Speaking out is so important, but you can't do those things if you don't keep hope. And so in order to take care of yourself, you do need to preserve the hope that you have for a better future. I do not know how to segue. What if we just like take a few sips, okay? No good transition did I plan. My coffee is a hazelnut coffee, but then I put Fairlife chocolate milk in it, and I didn't stir it up. I just really poured that thing in and then kind of swished it a little bit, which means a lot of the chocolate milk's down here, which means right now I'm drinking kind of just like coffee flavored chocolate milk, and that's really good. Okay, something new on the channel that I am trying is that I have started a channel membership. If you would like to be a member on my channel, I would feel so lucky. It is not at all a requirement. I'll talk a little bit about like what they are and then what it means for this channel. So channel memberships are a way that YouTube came up with that you can be like more invested in a person who you're watching and who you're supporting, or maybe have watched for a long time or would like to support more. You get access to like exclusive perks that are picked by yours truly. And I hadn't done it for a long time because I never wanted to put anything, I never wanted anyone to feel any kind of pressure to pay any kind of money. That is not my thing, and I want you to know that in this, I just want to tell you what they are. Truly no pressure. Things will not change on this channel if you do not become a channel member. You will still have the same public uploads that I upload right now. I will still be reading and answering your comments. I will still be loving you just as much. Why I decided to create a channel membership is for the people who would like to become a deeper part of the channel and have just like a closer connection and would like to be part of Bees Besties is what I'm calling it. Bees Besties. That's our channel channel membership. Let me reemphasize, no obligation. If you do not want to become a channel member, you do not have to, and nothing will change for you. Nothing that is currently free right now is getting put behind a paywall. Nothing should change for you. I love your support by watching, liking, commenting on my videos, subscribing. That is lovely support. If you feel so inclined that you would like to support further or would just like to become a part of this community with other people who have shared interests to you, that would be a great reason to join Bees Besties. So let me tell you about the perks that you get being a part of Bees Besties. There is only one tier. We're not doing anything complex. Channel memberships will include loyalty badges that pop up next to your profile showing that you're a bestie, and you get upgraded colors depending on how long you've been a bestie for. So that's just kind of fun. There are bestie exclusive emojis. Right now there is a star and a heart that I think are the cutest things ever, and I'm excited to use them in my own comment section. So the exclusive emojis are just something fun that shows in comments who's a channel member on my channel. Those things are kind of goofy. The things that you may actually be interested in. Being a channel member, you'll get priority reply to comments. I do my darndest to reply to as many comments as I can, and sometimes, embarrassingly enough, that means like 3 months later I might be responding to your comment, and it is not because I don't see it when it comes in. It truly is because I get overwhelmed. I know I've mentioned it already, but working a full-time job and then doing this on the side, I don't have enough hours in a day, and I get notifications of comments, and I want to be able to talk to all of you, and I do try to. And even after this video, I will sit down and I will respond to comments because I do try to answer as many as I can. I just cannot get to everybody all of the time. Being a channel member, you'll get priority reply to comments. In that, I will always answer Bees Besties comments and make sure all of them are responded to, your questions are answered, you are thanked before going to all the other comments. Another perk is that Bees Besties get early access to all of my videos. So like I said, if you do not want to become a channel member, you will still get the same currently like uploaded videos that you have been getting without paying anything. Lovely. If you would like to become a channel member, you will get those videos exclusively 24 hours before they're open to the public. So just something kind of fun. Will be a little bit extra work just to make sure I have them all ready a whole day before when I typically do, but I am down for it if you guys are down for it, and if it's something that excites you to get the exclusive access early, then I would love to do that for you. Super exciting things. As a channel member, you get to choose a video that I will make each month. I have this like ever growing, ever changing list of content ideas, a lot of which are asked for by you in the comments of like, can you talk about this in a video? Can you make a video about this? Would love to hear your insight about this. Like so many things that it's just impossible for me to do them all, but they all get added to my list. They all exist there. I can't make them all. And so by being a channel member, there will be a monthly video that is a member's choice, a bestie's choice video that you'll get to make specific video requests, whether it's topics you want me to cover or concepts you'd like to see. And then members only get to vote in the poll to choose that month's bestie's choice video. And then lastly is something that I'm very excited for, but I would like to gauge interest from you guys. The last channel member perk is that I am going to start doing a monthly live stream for members only. Live streams, I have like gone live on TikTok maybe twice in my life. I don't know how to do them well, and I feel nervous that I won't have things to talk about, but there's just something so special to me about getting to like talk with you guys in real time, even if it's like chat and me talking, however it is. There's something so special about that to me, and I would love to make that commitment to you to do that more often and do it regularly. My vision, but then let me know what you think too, my vision is that in the live stream once a month, it would be a time to hang out and to chat, but also it would be a time for me to answer your questions in real time. Like I said with comments, I get so many DMs and comments, and I love them all, and I thank you for sending them so much, and I try to answer as much as I can. I really do my darndest, but I can't always give everyone like individualized advice about your situation or answer all of the specific questions that you have. And sometimes you have great questions that I just can't fit in a paragraph, like everything I really think, and I would love for it to be like more of a discussion too. And I think that this could just be a really cool time that you could use me however you need, whether it's knowledge, hangout, chat, we could do activities. Like I'm not positive yet, but I feel like my original vision is that it would kind of be a Q&A live stream for members that would be at a set time each month. My first thought was that it would be like the last Thursday of a month because that's just kind of easy to keep track of in my head. Then it occurred to me that right now it's November and the last Thursday of this month is Thanksgiving. So maybe we'll rework that, but my thought is for it to be something like that that's just easy to keep track of, maybe like the last Wednesday of a month, something. If you have input, let me know. And then I was thinking it could be like from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern, because 8 to 9 Eastern would be 7 to 8 Central, 6 to 7 Mountain, and 5 to 6 Pacific, which feels as fair as I can get it for everybody in the US to be like off of work, out of school, possibly depending on what you're doing. And I'm very excited about this. Again, it's only for channel members, so let me know what you think. If you decide to become a channel member, I'm so excited to get to know you better. If there's anything else that you would like from a channel membership, let me know. Like this is my first time even diving into this portion of things, and so would love to hear from you of what you think would be beneficial to you that I could provide to you or make it feel worth it. And again, if you do not want to be a channel channel member, nothing should change on this channel, truly. Like, you will be getting the same experience, the same me you've always gotten. But since people have asked, I wanted to give away just to support me extra if you'd like to, which truly warms my heart so much, or just to be more involved in this community of people, because honestly, a lot of my viewers have a lot of things in common, and I will get comments from different people about very similar situations. I'm like, I just need to like pair you guys and be friends. So being a channel member will also be a good opportunity for that, to meet others who watch me and thus have a lot of things in common with you. Let me know what you think though. Okay, last couple of sections. Like I said, this is like a staff meeting. The Great Lock-In Prep. If you have not heard of the Great Lock-In, it is like the winter arc from last year. You know how people just make names on things that become real cute and then everybody does them, and it just like gives you a little extra spurt of motivation if you wouldn't want to? Last year, it was the winter arc. Everyone was doing a winter arc. They were working out and eating healthy and waking up early and reading books and everything, and I loved it. This year, it's the Great Lock-In. We are locking in for the winter months, and we are going to come out the winter even better versions of ourselves. And obviously this term is going to mean so many different things to so many different people, but my preparations for the Great Lock-In, how I want to enter winter and exit winter, are the following. Starting with physical goals, I want to finish my fat loss journey. I will do this by continuing to lift 4 to 5 times per week, prioritizing steps every single day, and eating a high protein diet in a calorie deficit. This is what I've been doing since February, is when I really locked in about it. My starting weight is from April 2024, because that is the heaviest that I've ever been and was not healthy for me. I am currently 25 pounds down from my starting weight, which I'm so proud of, and my goal is to end 30 to 35 pounds down. That is about 5 to 10, and I'm planning to finish that out this year, so that by the beginning of next year, the Great Lock-In will kind of be the transition period. When I'm 30 to 35 pounds down, I will start reverse dieting to get back to maintenance calories. So when you're eating, this is just like a very quick thing. If you want me to talk more in depth about this in a video, let me know, because I have been having a lot of thoughts about it, so I have really been considering it. When you're eating in a calorie deficit, you're still getting enough food, you're just getting the level in which your body will also use stored fat to energize itself throughout the day. Reverse dieting is what people call it whenever you start just like slowly inching your daily calorie goal back up until you get to maintenance calories. And maintenance calories is whenever you are expending the same amount of energy in a day as you're taking in. So you're not losing, you're not gaining. You can like body recomp still sometimes when you're at maintenance, depending on what your like fitness habits are and everything. So I don't need to keep eating in a calorie deficit for forever. Once I reach my goals, then I will start slowly reverse dieting back up to maintenance, so that then I can just maintain where I'm at and still be mindful and like kind of learn how to live in those habits and not put what I've lost back on myself. So the goal for the Great Lock-In is that I will finish out my fat loss journey, my fat loss goal, and start transitioning back to maintenance, because that will also take some learning of just like figuring out what that era looks like for me. Mentally, I want to learn. I will do this by studying Spanish. I'm gonna keep going to my weekly class. I'm planning on it right now. Keep going to my weekly class, and then I still have my own materials too that eventually I'll dig back into. They are buried right now in that desk corner that I was talking about, but I'm gonna have to clean that desk corner to do my puzzle. So I'll find my Spanish materials, and then whether it's a combo of the two, Spanish class and my own materials, if I decide to stop going to Spanish class and just do my own materials, I want to learn, and that feels like the most beneficial topic to me to dive back into, because I really want to be comfortable in that language again. Fun tenet of life. I want to make the most of each season, and I will do this by planning festive activities, cooking and baking seasonal food, and romanticizing little moments. And I kind of have plans of how I'm going to do all of that. Just like fun fall things that are not all spending money or anything, but like doing a simmer pot, or baking cookies, or watching a movie, or choosing the books that I read to be like in tune seasonally. That's what I'm trying to do in November and December. I'm locking in to having fun. The winter arc of fun. Social media, I want to create content that people enjoy and look forward to. I will do this by filming real life, making the videos that my audience requests to see, and engaging with the people that I've met online. Always open to feedback. I felt like that kind of summed up my goals for social media this winter as far as the Great Lock-In goes. We will talk about like my specific ideas though in just a second. Productivity, I want to finish the goals that I've set for this year, and I will do this by changing my last name and putting in the work required for YouTube growth and revenue. Remember, those are like my 2025 outstanding goals, because we're kind of dropping journaling since I don't really care about it, but those are my outstanding goals, were my subscriber goal for 2025 and then my changing my last name, which I am working on. I just haven't been able to do it yet. So all of that to say, what's coming up on the channel, this like the end of our staff meeting. What's coming up on the channel? Ideas that I've had that I have current plans for include like fall themed vlogs. I love those. Fall themed vlogs, and then transitioning into festive vlogs too as the end of the year gets closer. So like some things that we're already planning on doing that I'm planning on including in videos are like a corn maze, holiday lights, going to see Wicked, the Nutcracker, things that I was mentioning earlier. The baking that I'm planning on doing. I don't know how much we'll be decorating because I don't want to spend money on decorations, but what we have we'll decorate. I have some garlands that we can hang up when it becomes time. I have a turkey that we can put out on a shelf. That can be our decoration. I do want to film the weekend that we're going to Colorado. I think that could be cute and wholesome and hopefully just like entertaining. I am planning on doing an upcoming reading wrap up talking about the books that I read in August, September, and October. I am planning on doing a 48-hour readathon again. That was so fun when I did it in August, and I've just been wanting to do it again, so I'm gonna try to do it again. I will do the budget with me / the payday routine. I don't know which of those I'm gonna call it yet. It's kind of the same. It's not the same thing, but like functionally it's kind of the same thing. It just depends on how I structure it. But that's what I was talking about earlier, where we'll go more into the numbers after my raise. We'll kind of prepare for the upcoming insurance premiums that will be putting a lot less money in my pocket. We'll talk about how we're doing savings wise, all of that in that video. And then I'm also planning on doing an unplugged challenge, which I'm gonna try to do a week without screens or a week with minimal screen usage. TBD, I'm gonna try. A new feature that YouTube had was suggesting videos that it said my audience would like. So see if you feel like YouTube knows you. Some things that YouTube told me you guys would like. You're gonna have to let me know if these are things you'd actually like. One, because I'm very curious how accurate YouTube is on that. I would assume pretty accurate, but I don't know like what they were doing to come up with this. And then two, because if you're interested in it, then I want to add it into the upcoming plans, you know? Some things that YouTube told me my audience would be interested in. A favorites video, like my current favorite things in all different sections. YouTube told me. If you would like that, let me know. Productivity hacks for a balanced life. And it told me to make this be in like a week in the life format, but talk about how to be productive while having a balanced life. Work, outside of work. If you would like that, let me know. And oh, this one's gonna be a chunky one that is gonna require a lot of thought, but I would love to do it for you. I do think that this is one that people probably would like to watch. YouTube told me to call a video medical social work : responsibilities, challenges, and rewards. If you want me to make a video like that, let me know. Someone brought up in a comment recently, and I realized it was so true, but I hadn't really thought about it. But she said that in Work Week in the Life vlogs, I often give like insights into my day, insights into what I'm doing, insights to what I've learned, and like how I've grown, like how my perceptions have changed, like all these things. She says I talk about it in weekly vlogs as it's happening in real time, and it probably would be good to just like collect all those things and put them together in a video for people to watch it all in one place, which I do agree would be a really good thing. It would take a lot of work, so I honestly probably just need some encouragement and then I will do it. But let me know if you want to see that, and we will definitely do it. And then YouTube also said you would like Q&A, your social work career questions answered, which I have done things like that before, but obviously with Q&As it's ever changing because you tell me what to talk about. Also though, circling back to again plug channel memberships, because doing the members only live stream could be a great time to get your questions, if you do have burning questions, answered in real time. If you have questions about social work career, about your own self, about me, like anything, that could be a good time to do that. I'm planning on doing a 15K Q&A once we get to 15K subscribers, because that sounds cute. So between the two of those, 15K Q&A or the members only live stream Q&As, like both of those will be coming up. And then lastly, last little chunk on our agenda is that I do plan on again doing the daily uploads between Christmas and New Year's that I've done the past 2 years. And the daily uploads, I like to be a mix of like pre-planned sit-down videos and then also some vlogs. So for the pre-planned sit-down videos, I was kind of thinking that, well, okay, the first one is a given. Whether you want it or not, I'm doing it. Sorry, it's like my own thing. But the annual reflection video where I like answer all of the questions that years past myself has asked current me, you know the one that I'm talking about, where like 2024 Anna will be like, 2025 Anna, did you get married? And I'll be like, yes, I did. 2024 Anna. That annual reflection video will happen during that time. That's gonna happen. That's a must. That's like my scrapbook to myself. That's the video that I look forward to the most. And this will be my 3rd or 4th year doing it. But other videos that I was kind of planning on sprinkling in through there, every single book I read this year, reviewed in 1 sentence, and yes, no, or maybe should you read it too. Kind of planning on doing that. That's where the financial reset and new financial goals video will be. And then if you want to see more about like my fat loss journey and how I successfully did that this year, I was thinking that could be a good spot for that video too, because then that gives us 4 sit down videos that then we can make like 3 vlogs and do the 7 daily uploads that way. Unless you like all those things to be surprises, in which case ignore all of the planning that I just said. Need some chapstick. This has been a lot. Please give me your feedback. I just talked for a long time in our staff meeting and I really need to hear the input of the employees. So if you could do that, that'd be great. I'm not going to give you an emoji to comment if you've made it to this part of the video, because if you've made it to this part of the video, please answer one of the questions that I've asked you to answer in the comment. Give me feedback. Thank you. I appreciate it. I love and appreciate you guys so much, always, all the time. I love getting to do this for you, and I'm just so excited for the end of the year that's to come for all of us. I thank you for letting me make videos for you that you will watch. I thank you for taking time out of your day to hang out with me. This is so fun for me, and it truthfully would not be as fun if it weren't for you. So I really, really appreciate you, and I hope you guys are having a great day today as I'm filming this, and then today as you're watching this too. Please make sure to subscribe before you go. I would really appreciate that. I've got some goals I'm trying to achieve, you know? So if subscribe. If you have any friends that you think might like it here too, send me to them. I appreciate it. See you next time.